I exemplify greatness. I exemplify the highest ideals. I attain to the absolute highest. I consecrate myself to my highest self. I attain to the absolute best. I radiate brilliance. I embody brilliance. I embody excellence. I am outstanding. I am excellent. My life is a monument to exceptional greatness. I am great and growing greater. Yes. Everything is improving for me. I am great and growing greater. Higher and higher apexes. Everything of outstanding greatness. Inside and outside, I demonstrate excellence.
Okay, people, good evening, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your patience and your decision to join me on this 7 days journey. I want to tell you that I am grateful, okay, and I appreciate you being here, and I do not take it for granted. Not for once. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. It means you believe in me, you trust what I have to offer, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so like I said, so today is day 2, and today we'll be delving into Python. I will be introducing you to Python codes. All right, and by now, if you are going to code along with me, or you are going to understand certain things, I think you should have your VS Code or your note installed and set up, right? So like I told you, by tomorrow is day 3. Let me quickly check what we'll be doing tomorrow, being day 3. Just a sec. Sorry. Okay, where is it? Is it here? So tomorrow we'll be having another session, and I think that's also is another practical class. Today is practical class, tomorrow is also another practical class. All right, so thank you so much. So tomorrow, which is day 3, we are looking at data wrangling. We are looking at how to clean data, manipulate data, analyze real world data. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow. So but today I'm going to introduce you to Python fundamentals, okay, and how to write a Python script and core programming concepts. All right, so that's what we'll be doing today. So thank you so much for joining me. I wish I can give more time for others to join us, but I won't be able to do that because yeah, we have a lot to cover. It's just a 2 hours class, and we are 22 minutes away from the time. All right, so please am I audible enough? Can you confirm, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me quickly log this. Okay, and there you are. All right, so let's go. So for those of you that have not written any line of programming in Python before, thank you so much for joining me. And tonight I will be showing you what it means to write Python script, to write Python code. All right, so as you can see on my left hand side, this is a Visual Studio Code. This is an IDE, internal development environment, where we write code. Okay, so you have your Python installed, and you also have your VS Code installed. All right, so with this you can start writing your code. All right, so as you can see, I created a Python file. So, and the most important thing I want you to focus on here is the .py. Okay, if I decide to create another file now, and I call it index, and I call it .j, for example, and I call it .js, it becomes a JavaScript file. If I call it and I say .java, for example, if I say .java, it becomes a Java file, right? Okay. If I call it .java, it becomes a Java programming file, right? Then if I call it whatever, so the extension is what matters, not the name that you give to your file. All right, so the extension is the most important thing, so you must focus on that. Now, having said that, let's proceed. So now that you understand that, the first thing I want you to understand when it comes to writing your Python code is that you are writing for the machine, you are not writing for humans. And what does the language, what language does the machine understand? Which is zeros and one. Computer only understands zeros and one. Okay, so and because they understand zeros and one, you need to write in a way that they understand, and that is where programming comes in, where you are writing English and the language is translating whatever you are writing into zeros and one for the what, for the for a communication to be initiated. All right, and then one of the most fundamental thing to note is the variable, which is what we are going to start with. Now, what is a variable? Think of a variable as a container that holds data. All right, think of a variable as what? A container that holds data. So if we are saying that we have a cup, for example, and there is water inside that cup, the cup is the container, the water is the value. Hello, did somebody understand what I just said? So when you are creating, the first thing you must know about writing any programming language is the variable. And I said that variable simply means a container that holds value. And I gave an instance where you have a cup and there is water inside that cup. That cup becomes the variable, the container, while the water inside that cup becomes the what? The value. So take, for example, I can have a variable like this cup, and then I will say equal to what? Water, like this. Okay, so in this case, the cup here becomes a variable, and while water here becomes the value. Anybody understand what I just said?
Yes.
All right. Yes, who is that? Shidem? Mary, yes, go ahead, shoot.
I wanted to ask, are we using this one, or are we using Python? Which program are we using to?
We are using Python. That's
this?
what I just explained. We are using Python, and we are using. That's why I created the file as a .py file, because every Python ends with a .py extension, which tells that the file is a Python file. And I say,
so
No,
I'm asking, are we using Visual Studio Code?
Oh yes, do you have Visual Studio Code?
Yes, I do have it. So I was wondering that why. Okay, you didn't explain how we're going to set it up. We just we just installed, and you
Jesus,
just.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry about that. Okay. All you need is just you have a Python installed on your machine.
Yes, I installed everything, the packages,
Awesome.
the notebook, and the Python. And I also have Visual Studio Code.
Okay, so open the Visual Studio Code. Once you open, you will see a welcome message. Maybe you can be dropping a screenshot in my DM. I'll respond. Okay, and get it set up. Don't worry, as I'm talking, I'll be responding. Okay?
Okay. I know how to use Visual Studio Code.
Oh, awesome. So just go ahead and create a file and then follow me through. All right?
Okay, sure.
Okay. So like I was saying, I said that the place we are starting from is a variable, which is the major concept that you must know, because you can't have a water inside your hand. That means it won't hold. You won't have value. And one of the things I want you to know as a data engineer, data science, whatever be your role in the tech space, you must understand that data is very powerful. Okay, data is very powerful because it is with data that you can know how you are working and what you are getting and all of that. Every information is hidden inside data, so you must understand data. All right, so for you to now hold your data, there has to be a variable. And I said that an example is when you have a cup and there's water inside of it. The cup is the variable, the water becomes the value. Another instance is when you are having an age. When, let's say, age of a person, so we can say age becomes the variable, and then the value can becomes what? The value can becomes 25. All right, don't worry about the quotation. I will explain as we go further. So just follow me, and then please, if you have questions, just speak, because I'm on VS Code, so I'm not on the meeting, so I won't see your hand. All right, so you can just speak, and I'll pause and then answer your question. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now another situation is when you have a name. You can have a name, and then you say the name is equal to John Doe. All right, so the name becomes the variable, the value becomes what? John Doe. All right, so we must understand where you are using variable. So variable is very important. All right, so now that I've explained variable, let's move on to now understand data types. All right, data types. So now, before I explain data type, let me talk to you about the built-in function called print. So the print is a built-in function that allow you to print your value to the console. So take, for example, let me off this thing now. I don't need your completion right now, so let me quickly how do I turn it off? Wait, the hell are you? I'm sorry, let me remove. Okay, yeah, I think I can turn it off from here. Where is it? Doesn't want to be turned off. Okay, just give me a second, let me turn this off. Oh god, no, they're taking me far. Oh, this auto completion, where are you? Yeah, disable completion. All right, awesome. So like I said, the print is a built-in function that allow you to print your value to the console. Take, for example, if the essence of that is I want to see that the name, the variable I have, is actually holding the value, I need to print the variable to see the value. So if I now want to print name, for example, I want to print name, and then inside there I now pass in the variable like this. Okay, so what do you think is going to print? Who can help us here? What do you think is going to print for us?
It's going to print.
It's going to bring out John Doe.
It's going to give us John Doe, right? Because that is the value of the name. All right, so every variable has a container that holds a value. So now, how do you now print? There are different ways you can print your value to the console. One of the ways is by using the command. So if I say Python and I follow by the name of my file, for example, and I say fundamental like this, okay? Am I correct? And I say .py. This is another command you can use whenever you want to do a print, like you want to print your value to the console. So you can hit enter, and it will print John Doe for us, as you can see here, right? So yeah, who is there? Okay, you are welcome. Okay, so this is another way you can print. Another way is by using this. One of the ways is by using the command, which is what we have just done, or you can use the play button here to play your value. All right, to play it, and then it goes. But when you do this, it exposes so many things. So for you to have a concise code that is clean, just use your Python command, except you have some other things. So, and one of the importance of using the Python command is when you have too many files. Let's say I have a class inside, I have a file, or I have too many files, and there are too many folders here, and I want to print a particular file to know what is happening inside that file. I can just type Python, the name of that file, and then I hit enter, and I get the value. Is that point clear? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, because I cannot, whenever you are using your print to print your value to the console, you must understand one thing. Name must be name. Name must not be name. I don't know how to pronounce N-A-M, but then let's just say name is pronounced as name. So you can see there is an error here. because I'm trying to print name, but what I'm putting inside the print command is NAM. So what do I get? I'm going to run into an error. So if I come here and I hit enter, it's going to give me an error. You tell me that the name is not defined if I mean name. So that's the beauty of Python, because it tells you where your error is coming from and where you are getting it wrong. Okay, that's what makes Python beautiful. So as you can see, it's telling us where our error is. I will explain error very soon, but we've not gotten there. Let's get this fundamental first. All right, so when you type name, you must know what you are typing. When you want to print a string, here is also a string, and here is a boolean. Okay, let me go back again. A data type is when you have data that are not of the same type. The same type simply means that they don't have the same, type. Please, I don't know any other word I can use for type. All right, so if we can, okay, let me think of a simple scenario. Okay, if you are a foreigner in another country, for example, okay, for you to be able to communicate with them, you are from in Nigeria and you are in UK, for example, and let's say you are in Germany. In Germany, they speak Dutch. Am I correct? So while you are there, for you to be able to communicate effectively, you need to learn Dutch.
Yes,
right?
sir, yeah.
You need to learn Dutch and be able to communicate in Dutch, right? So let's say you are another data type. You speak English, and there in Dutch they speak. In Germany they speak what? Dutch, right? So I'm saying that a data type is where you have a different way of operation. Okay, when you have different way of bringing in data, information. All right. I'm looking for a similar way to put it, but please ride with me. Maybe as I go further, you will understand. So I'm saying that there are different type of data. There are string data type. There is an integer data type. There is a boolean data type. There is a float data type, and we are going to talk about them one after the other. Permit me to remove one of these. Okay, I'm going to remove this water, so that we have one data type at once. So here we have age equal to 25. This is an integer data type. An integer data type is a type of data type that deals with numbers. Okay, so the numbers can be like this, can go as many or as high as you want, right? Okay, like this. Anyway, don't do this anyway, but I'll show you something. Okay, so if we have 25 here, so this is an integer data type. The moment I now circle this 25 and now put a single quote or double quote, is no longer an integer. And let's see it for example. So I'm going to create another number. So here I'll come here. Because Python allows us to reuse variable, again I said Python allows us to reuse variable. So I'll come here and I'll say age, and I'll say equal to, and then I'll say 34, right? Then the first one, I'm going to print age. I'll print age like this. Then the second one, I'm also going to print age, so that you will now see different data type that it brings. Okay, so I'll print age like this. Okay, and then now come to our terminal and run the code again. And when I hit enter, so you can see that, okay, yeah, it's giving us the numbers, right? But they are of different data types. So for me to now get their data type, I need to call in the built-in method called type. So I'll now call the type method like this. Okay, I'll come here and call the type method and pass the age inside. So I'll call type like this, and inside it like this, I'll pass type. I'll do the same here. I'll say type like this, and inside it I'll pass age like this. Okay, and then let's run it again. And when we run it, okay, when we run it like this, we should be able to have, okay, let's hit, yeah, it's running now. Okay, so now look at it. It's telling us that the first one is a class of string. Can you see? Anybody, can you see? Let me get a response. Can you see?